Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL. And today we're doing the pattern 4535 once again, but this time there's a little twist. In the middle, we made it do the opposing color, which just happens to be the color that's coming through at that time. It's a very, very subtle change to the pattern, but it again demonstrates that we don't have to do the patterns exactly as they are. Anytime you have two strings crossing over each other, you have the choice. Is it going to go over to the right or is it going to go over to the left? And on this instance, we traded what would have been going to the right. We traded that for a going to the left, and in turn changed this in a way that I honestly, I like it better. Now, I'm going to wait and put up the whole vote to see which one you like better until we do the end of the month review. But you should definitely, take a look at it to tell me what you think, or maybe we could take a look back at the other video we did a couple days ago and see maybe you like the other one better. I don't know. I like this because it is the opposing color. So for where the orange stripe is, it's a blue dot. Where the yellow stripe is, it's a purple dot. Where the green stripe is, it's a red dot, and so on and so on, which is really cool. It really makes the color kind of pop. And this is not that different from, say, a fancy candy bracelet where we would change up the rows going down the middle. What really changes this is because every other row is white, and because we're using the white to kind of sandwich in that one middle knot, we are making it way more noticeable for the dot. It's the background sort of changes the whole, because it's not unnormal to do the three down the middle, changing that from coming from the other side. That's just fancy candy, right? Like a candy stripe just goes to the right. When you mix up the middle to go do a little bit to the left, that's a fancy candy. So essentially, that's all this is. It's just having put the colors in such a way that it really changes the whole aspect to it. And I love that. I think that's really brilliant that we can do something and make it different and have fun with the colors. Now, mind you, I did white again. Any base color would have been fine. We could have gone with like browns or grays or even a black string as our background color here, and it would have turned out pretty neat. You just need something of contrast. Also, as far as the colors go, these were leftover strands from other projects, which gives why I cut my string in thirds. Is when I have those leftover strings, I need them long enough to be able to be used in future projects. And this is one of those cases where I picked out 6 colors that went well together, and it just works. It helps me to use up that leftover string because I just needed one strand of each. Now, mind you, it's one strand going into the loop, which means there's 2 strands coming down. So in order to make a pattern like this, I have to double up the strings to make it thicker to be able to use the 2 strands as a single string going through the pattern. So it makes the bracelet a little bit thicker, which will in fact probably make it last longer for the person who's wearing it. It also makes it so that way there's fewer knots from the top to the bottom, because each knot takes up more space, so it gets longer a little bit faster. So that's kind of nice. And it gives you the chance to do something like this with having a cool kumi, because it is a 12-string bracelet. But if you did it single, you'd only have 6 strings at the loop, and that's not enough to really do much of anything other than maybe like a little macrame loop. Not as pretty as the kumi, for sure. Like, it's just the kumi that Mandy did for this is amazing. I pretty much did the whole thing without error. There was a spot where one of the white dots, I missed it. Like, oh, I went back and I stopped the video, went back, fixed it, and continued on. So I'm not sure if that'll even show up in the video or not, but I got a little distracted and missed that one. It happens. The overall project took about an hour to make. Not sure. I guess it was just short of an hour. So I guess it was slightly faster than the other version of this. And I guess that makes sense because the other one was doing a left, right, left in the center, and this one was left, left, left. So I didn't have to like change directions as much. So maybe that helped to make it just a bit quicker. It's just a hunch. I don't know for sure, but I suspect that's possibly it. Or because I'd already just done the other one and doing this was so similar that like, you know, already had practice in kind of thing. I don't know. It turned out that it was just slightly faster than the other. So that was cool. We are definitely past the halfway point. I need to thank my YouTube members for making this stuff possible. Lots of strings, lots of stuff. It's surprising how much goes into having a channel like this. Like, we haven't even talked about the fact that I have a whole website with patterns and stuff that I have to pay for. That's not cheap either. So yeah, thank you guys for helping keep all this stuff going. I really do appreciate it. What else can I tell you? Yeah, I really didn't need the pattern for anything more than to know when it was going to end. And so I was like really zoomed out, had it off to the side on my computer, had it zoomed out just to make sure I knew when it was coming near the end. And yeah, so this is like one of those patterns. I heard somebody asking a question about this. They said, let me see if I can remember how they said it. They wanted patterns that were easily memorized so that they could be done out away from home kind of thing. And I would say this pattern is definitely one of those. Like, even if you went a little bit long, it probably wouldn't matter. The colors are just getting used so evenly. The only thing that gets used a little bit more is the white string, and that's just a little bit more. So yeah, this is one of those patterns where you can have it totally memorized, take it out with you, go for a long car ride, or want to sit in the park and work on a bracelet. I used to do a lot of that. I kind of want to get back to that. We have some stuff now to kind of make that possible. Waiting on a couple more items. We got the camera. Waiting on a couple more items to make it possible to really go out and shoot outside of the home. So kind of excited about the prospects of that. Could be a lot of fun. What else can I tell you? We got a little bit left here. I really don't know what else to tell you guys. It was a fun bracelet. I think I may have said that. I do think I like this version better, but that's just a personal thing. It's up to you. I guess you could do a lot more with this if you wanted to. Like, you could put in more stripes from the white, because there's obviously, you know, every other space has it. So there's the possibility of doing something a little bit creative with that. But I mean, being creative, that's the whole thing I want to teach. I want you guys to be able to see, like, this is a fun, interesting pattern and a fun pattern, but, you know, a little tweak and suddenly it becomes your own. So there you go. Oh, look at that. Strings are ending on the sides there. That means the ending is near. So that's pretty awesome. Thank you for watching this much of the video. I really do appreciate that. I noticed that a lot of people just kind of watch the intros or something. I don't know why. But yeah, much appreciated. So if you haven't already hit the like button, please do. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.